All right, we are here with another battle report. This is Brad. I'm going to be playing Mr. Thomas today. He's back from Hawaii on the Votann. Hopefully, there's not any type of data slate or FAQ by the time we get this video out, because we have rumors that there might be one imminently, and we were hoping it was out before we filmed this, but it's not. So we're here. I've got Drukhari today. We saw in a battle report that the Votann were taken down. I'm going to try to do it again today with a completely different play style and list style. So we've got a triple patrol here. We've got an Archon. He's got a fight last on him. We've got Draz. I did give him the Warlord trait, basically because you're going to have it on him if you're in a tournament or something like that. So it'd be silly to play him without it, even though I can't reroll wounds. And then you've got the Succubus here. We've got Triptych Whip, and then we've got doing Mortals on 6s to hit. So pretty cool. I'm running Red Grief with all of the witches, and then I've got Cabal the Black Heart so that I could, mess up his CP spend a little bit. Witches, we've got 6 5-mans over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everything has Hyper X, so they're just super fast, basic witches. We've got 3 squads of Mandrakes here. One of them is a squad of 6. 2 are squads of 5. That's to help with R&D. We've got a 6-man Scourge, 2 3-man Bikes. Incubi, we've got a 5-man, 2 10-mans, and then we've got 2 basic racks, basically for just screening and holding some backline stuff. And then when we go to the transports, we've got 3 Raiders with Dark Lances and a Venom. So that is the list. The killiest thing in here is obviously Draz and the Incubi. We know that the Succubus can do work as well. Everything else is really just play the secondary, play the primary, screen him, touch him, do things like that. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. The Math and the Incubi should do work. That's why I got them in 10-mans. So we'll see if they come through or if they just flop everything. Could go one way or another. Let's go see what the Votann are bringing today.
All right, Thomas Bird here, back with some Votann. I'm excited. I was off on vacation for a whole week, and all I can think about is coming back to play some Votann. So I don't know what that says about me, but I'm excited to be back. I'm still undefeated with the Votann. Joe over there going and losing against demons. How could he lose with the superpower Votann? No end of giving him grief. But everyone's been ramping up to try to defeat them, so the pressure's on for me to hold up the Votann challenge. Can I keep it going? Brad's got a different list. MSU, we're going to see if he can just overwhelm me with bodies. That type of list doesn't necessarily care if I kill stuff, because he's just going to be sending me more and more stuff. So we'll see if I can take the challenge. This particular list, I'm still going with the Ymyr conglomerate. Seems to be one of the most popular ones, and it's the one I'm gravitating towards. But I do still want to try out some stuff. So even though I'm trying to beat Brad, I'm also trying to test out some stuff. So the thing I want to try out is going to be the champion. We haven't really used the champion too much. I certainly haven't. I've been using the Grimnir. When you talk about Votann and HQs, it always becomes a challenge on getting the 4th HQ. Do you take double patrols, or you just take 3 with a battalion? So this is going to be a battalion. I do not have the Grimnir. I'm going to take this guy. So the champion, I've given him all the stuff. He's got Guild Connections, which is a Warlord trait that makes his damage +1 for his weapons. So he's going to have the Dark Star Axe, so he ignores phase lock stuff. Fortunately, Brad doesn't have any of that stuff, so yay. It might matter for the Feel No Pains, because it ignores damage saves. And he also has Wayfarer's Grace, so that's a relic that lets him get back up if he dies, and also lets him regrow wounds. So if he gets hurt, he could potentially be tanking it. So let's see if he actually does some work. We got the High Call. He's got the Long List and the Grudge's End. We got the Forge Master himself. He's got Master Armor, so he can buff up my tanks. We have 2 units of Berserks, one with axes and a mole launcher, one with mauls. I want to try out those axes, see what they can do. We got the 10 Terminators with the Volkites, because we know they're pretty good. Troops, we've got 10, 10, and 10 Warriors. They all have scanners and medipacks, and I had enough points for 1 Magna Rail. It seems like the Magna Rails are the first things to come out, even though you always want Magna Rails, so explain that to me. 2 units of bikes. We got the scanners and the roll cage searchlights, so they can put out tokens, and then they have the rotary cannons, so 2 units of those, and of course 2 land fortresses. These are going to be all beams because I'm playing Ymyr. I like the beams, so no Magna cannons on these. Let's see if that's the right choice against Dark Eldar. if I'll even get to shoot those beams. We shall see. Let's go check out the mission and what terrain we're going to be setting up. All right. We've rolled the mission. We've set up the terrain. We're playing Recover the Relics. Our secondary has been chosen. He's going with R&D. Herd the Prey. He was kind of going back and forth whether he wanted to go behind enemy lines or herd, so he's going to try to hold his back and then he's take them alive. Kind of better than assassinate, but is it better? Can he kill Votann? On my side, I kind of was also having a challenge because I normally want to pick all the Votann secondaries, but I went ahead and picked Grind because I think he's got so many units, it just makes sense. It's going to be harder for him to kill me than I am to kill him. Lay claim, that's the objectives at the end of the game, so kind of, if I'm winning, can I hold it? He's got so many units, OPSEC. It could be hard if he goes second or if he just ties me up, so we'll see how that goes. And then I'm chosen banners, so that'll be interesting with Herd. Do I push out, try to stop Herd, or do I step back and try to protect my banners? Because he can just come up and steal it with all his fast-moving guys. Quick look at the board. We got the 4 objectives in the center and the ones in our home base. This primary bonus is killing units, so you get points for killing guys up to 3 per turn. So yay, Votann, we like to kill stuff. It is player place terrain Warzone style, so we put out all the pieces. I'm trying to keep it as open as possible. So you see I stuck these crates out in the middle, trying to create these big fire lanes. He's put ruins on objectives, trying to keep his home base safe. So we'll go do the deployment.
All right, we have deployed. Start off with the Drukhari side here. I basically went 9 inches off his line with 3 squads of mandrakes here. Yes, it's a risky play, but it prevents his pregame move some, kind of puts him off into the corner, and he would have to move all the way up on me if he wants to shoot with the bikes, and he's just suiciding his bikes. It also just prevents his tanks from getting their full move right here and right here, so it'll limit him to 8 inches basically, which it might seem like the 2 inches doesn't really matter, but at the end of the day it does. And if he wants to not shoot them and keep them alive and charge them to get like extra movement or something, he can. But it just allows me to deploy a little bit safer and not have to worry about those extra like 2 inches. Like he could almost clear this box here and I would have to deploy this Raider a little bit different, but he definitely can't clear it now because he's got to end up back further. So I don't have to like worry as much about my deployment. If I lose all 3 squads of those guys, it's not that big of a deal. And if I go first, it's a huge deal. I can either bounce them all or I can just go push all the way up against him and totally shut him down for a turn. So like me going first with a strat like that is really, really good. And it's almost game changing, I would say. If they die, it's not that big of a deal. It's a little bit more of an uphill battle, but not the end of the world. So my terrain displacement, I'll just kind of tell you what I messed up here. I needed a piece of terrain in this back corner so that I could protect with just 2 squads sitting in my 2 corners here and there all game to prevent the Terminators just from coming in. And I would have screened my whole backfield all game. Now what happens is every single turn I don't have a unit in the open in this back corner is a turn that he can just come and deep strike in. And I have to have a squad in the open. So I'm going to be throwing away an extra squad right here if I can't shut the tanks down fast. Not ideal. Really, really big mistake right there. We'll see how much it costs me. Otherwise, I've got Raiders. We've got stuff in the Raiders. We'll talk about that as they come out. Raiders, bikes, girls, bikes, Raider, Venom, girls. Everything else is inside. I got Scourges up in the air, and I got a unit of Racks up in the air. Help me with that rod. So yeah, this is what we're doing. Let's see what Thomas has over here. I'm going to pass the camera over. We'll keep it as still as I can. All right, what do you got?
All right, so yeah, he tricked me with those mandrakes. I wasn't prepared for him to like deploy all the way in the line. I'm all like, I'm going to move here. I'm going to shoot. He's like, you're not going to move there. I'm like, I can move where I want. He's like, no, you can't. And so we talked about the mandrakes and what they could do. I'm like, very crafty. So if they don't jump away, if he goes first, he could just run up and touch everything, which is problematic. I have mauls inside here with the champion, and I have axes in there so that both the berserks are split between those 2 things. I have boots on the ground. My call is kind of out in the open, so if he put guys where I could see, which he can, I can see. If I go first, which is what I really want, I do have lots of things to give out judgment to, and I can use my beams, so it'd be great. I do have some pregame moves, but since he's blocked me moving forward, I might move those bikes back just to not give him free shots with Raiders and all that stuff, because I don't want the bikes to get nuked early. And more wounds, right, from the mandrakes if he stays on the board. So it'll be interesting if he goes first. Does he save the mandrakes, or does he send them in to try to harass me? They really are disposable to Brad, and I know how he plays, so he'll probably just run them in. Which I'm like, nah, just go with the reserve. It's better. So let's see what he does. Actually, we're rolling on camera. Oh, do I have to use one of these crappy dice? Oh, I don't like these dice. Oh, I don't like the casino dice. I don't have my dragons.
I want to see. I never go first against you.
Oh, I hit a mandrake. It doesn't count.
It's a 2.
It doesn't count. Oh, no. I don't want to recall. Oh, stupid mandrakes. They go first.
All right, so Dark Eldar went first. He pregame moved his bikes back here, and then these bikes came up from the back. These mandrakes here are moving forward. They're going to do Rod. It's my 6-man mandrake, so I'm going to get Rod in this corner, R&D. I'm going to call it Rod forever. This Venom is just moving up. It's just got some incubi in it that want to come out to play. No, it doesn't. It has witches in it. I lied. It has just 5 witches in it. Nothing crazy. Just staging there. If he wants to swing around and shoot them, he can. Otherwise, they're going to come out and cause some havoc of stealing some primary, which is always a good thing. So that's there. Some good throwaway units. My other mandrakes literally just moved up. I'm not bouncing either one of them. We're just going to shoot some stuff, charge some stuff, see what happens. Everything else is really just staging and moving up. My bikes go super fast and can charge next turn. So I'll get another turn of tagging stuff with them. The Raiders, I debated moving these one of these Raiders up right here. But he could get like maybe 2 to 3 Terminators to see them, and then the bikes can come around. It's a lot of shots with the bikes. I'm a little worried with the 2 damage. If they're all 1 damage, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. I could make a -1 to hit. Probably wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I didn't think it was worth putting the Raider here. With having heard that my 2 10-man incubis, if he crosses this middle line, they're gonna have to kill whatever comes over. So we're gonna play this touching game until we have to engage. I have to use all my willpower to not fully engage right now, because that's what I do. I have these 2 boats full of incubi. I'm like, oh, I could put them right here. I was like, no, because then what he's gonna do, he's gonna shoot the mandrakes to clear the big gun after he kills the mandrakes, kill the boats. I was like, it could be real problematic. So yeah, we're just staging. We're just blocking. We're just going to go ahead and do the mandrakes really quick and touch some tanks. And hopefully if he shoots Overwatch, I don't die. All right, so this plan was wonderful. My mandrakes popped off on this bike unit here. I did 3 mortals. He failed 4 saves out of the 5 that I had. So I killed 2 bikes, brought this one down a wound. Then my other mandrakes went into this, brought him down to 1 wound. My boy over here is just a little too tall over these boxes. His Dark Lance threw a shot over there, hit, wounded, failed the save, was gonna kill this bike. He CP rerolled it. How'd that make you feel?
Very sad.
Very sad.
I had needed a 5-up. It was not a good CP
They won't be able to hear you.
No.
We'll pretend.
I was very sad. A 5-up. I needed a 5-up invul with the reroll. It's not a good spend, but I was lucky I hit the 6.
Yeah.
So made it at least worth it. But I was like so mad that because I pregame moved those guys out where I could see them. So like they were perfectly safe. I was smart for a minute, and then I gave it all back.
Yeah.
But he charged in the tanks.
Yep.
Did Bupkiss. I did Bupkiss back, and now he's doing what he's doing. So.
Yep. Plan went to how I wanted it to go. So on to Thomas's movement, and we keep going.
All right, I've done my minimal movement. I don't really move that far, and he's not letting me move my tanks. I really debated whether I wanted to stay in this combat, but I backed this tank out of combat. I was able to see all these mandrakes, so I have my choice of 1 token to hand out. So I'm giving it to these mandrakes here. I did jump out before I moved this unit of Berserks. They had to kind of go around this mandrake. He was able to fit over the top, so he's moving up. They're going to charge those guys and try to position for his inevitable assault. Have some fighty guys there to throw away. These bikes, I gave the chapter calls reroll so they can try to shoot that venom that's full of witches. These Terminators are going to try to pick up those mandrakes. Tech Marine's just shuffling over. The lone bike. I felt so bad. He just moved back to a starting spot. He doesn't want to get shot. He's not needed right now. Over here, similarly, didn't need to want to get out, but I want to kill them all in combat or shooting, but if I don't, I can't afford to let the mandrakes tag me twice. The troops did banners, so I'm just going to go ahead and try to pop that guy here with my big gun. I'm going to just shoot all the guns at the mandrakes except for that one big gun. See if I can't get them over there. Yeah, that's it. So let's go to shooting, and we'll see how many mandrakes are left. All right, the carnage is done. Over here, I was able to shoot out the mandrakes and assign their token to these mandrakes at the end of the phase using my Call's Long Judgment Warlord trait. They were shot with mortal wounds, so died casually. Over here, these bikes spent their CP to mark a light this raider. They did 4 wounds to it. And then they also shot and killed this venom. So witches fell out, lost a girl. They charged the mandrakes and the witches. Were able to kill the 3 out of the 4 witches with their full rerolling attacks. Over here, we made the charge with the champion and the berserks. He killed 2 guys with his charge in the charge phase, the little mortals that he does. So it made it where I couldn't actually get all the guys in combat. So one lone mandrake, hard to see, is still alive. He pulled him. The champion was not able to finish him off. But that's it. And then the witches survived with 1, but she punched back and did 1 wound to a bike. Stupid witches. So that's the end of the combat. I did plant 3 banners. These troops, the Tech Marine actually planted it here. And then we had OPSEC over there. So even though he had mandrakes, I was able to plant the banner. Mandrake. Leadership 8. He lost 5 guys. He dies. And the witch rolls a 5. Oh! All the morales, all the units, all the deaths. That's a lot of deaths. This grind is for me. So we'll come the score and we'll come back at the top of his turn 2. Ooh. Over here, just real quick. This tank was given the +1 to hit from the Tech Marine. He was able to shoot with some of his beams. I shot the big gun down at this raider behind here because I could just see his sail. So I had to kill all the guys first. That was enough guns to kill them in shooting. And the beam hit, and it was able to go through and do 8 wounds to this raider. So he's down to 2 wounds. Wounded raider. Take it. I had gotten these guys out to charge just in case I didn't pull it off. And I also kind of wanted them up front just in case he charges me, so I can have some fighting guys to fight on death. But alas, they're all dead, so they're just kind of standing out in the open. And this stupid bike. Hanging out. Trying to zone out. I do have the relic here on these guys blocking deep strike for 12 inches. So I'm trying to keep him from dropping in my zone. All right, scoring at the end of turn 1. Brad got his first R&D done with those mandrakes. It cost them their lives, but they knocked it out. Heard, you don't score that on the first turn, and he did not kill anything, so don't take them alive. My turn. I killed a bunch of stuff. Grind is for me. Lay claim, we don't score that till the very end of the game, so I just marked that out all the way to the end. And then banners, I planted a bunch of banners, but nothing to score on the first turn. So I did get 3 points for the bonus for killing all 3 units of mandrakes. Very spicy. Left a couple units alive so I can pick those up next turn. So more points for the Votann. He's really pickling about whether he wants to charge me on turn 2. He's pretty pushed back. The one caveat of I got held in my zone is I'm still in my zone. So I'm not closer to him, which I probably would have drove up. So interesting how the mandrake play turned out. We'll see if it works out for him. All right, we have to have a break in the movement. It was so funny. So he's got this perfect measurement. This is how far the incubi can jump out of that transport. So he really wants to charge these guys with the incubi, and he can advance and charge this turn. So he's like, if I get a good run, I can make it easy. If I don't, it could be bad, right? So he's like, I roll a 2, and you're like, no, that's not that far. He's like, I'm gonna spend a CP to re-roll it. And what happened? What do you know happened, internet? He turned around and rolled a 1. So there they are. I think that's a 8-inch charge there, or those guys are left in no man's land. And 10 incubi don't want to be out in the open with Votann angry, not making charges. So had to stop, interrupt it. Funny. Now Brad's just baiting whether he even puts them there. So we'll see if they stay there.
All right, so the incubi failed their advance. I was hoping I would have an easy pickup there. So they're just going to chill back here. I got the Archon and Draz out. It's not worth me chancing that, so I'm just going to play a little cagey this turn and see what happens. These witches came up here. We're going to shoot 3 Dark Lances here, see what happens. Witches are going to then charge whatever's left. Hopefully I don't have to charge them in. They're there in case I have to, but I'm hoping that they can just sit here and move block the berserkers from coming up into here. I would make them fight last, but like I just don't want to deal with it. So we're just gonna slow them down for a turn. We're just gonna go there. It helps my herd as well. So they're gonna do that. My bikes are gonna fly all the way over here. Charge, touch this tank. Hopefully we don't die in Overwatch. They're gonna charge here, pile into the tank. Hopefully kill the 10-man. I would hope that they can kill the 10-man. The succubus just should be good enough. So we'll see. Then on this back side here, we rotted in this quarter. The incubi here came out. We just putting them both on this objective. He shouldn't be able to get to them this turn. So I'm just going to kind of sit there and lay waste. And if he wants to come across this line, he can do that. He doesn't really have any business of being on this side of the board because his tokens are all over there.
I don't have any tokens right now.
Well, these.
Oh, my lay claims.
Yeah, the lay claims are over there. So like I've got all my incubi, my characters over there. So if he wants to come for that, he does have the advantage because he goes second. So unfortunately, I won't be able to just jump on that and steal it or anything. So yeah, let's shoot some dark lances and do some charges. All right, so charge phase here. There's a predicament on what he's gonna do for Overwatch and everything like that. So I was gonna just move block with this squad here. I was forced to charge into the bikes and the berserkers here because he was gonna shoot Overwatch at one of these squads, and I didn't want the closer one with the easier charge to die fully. So he killed 3 models. I pulled the closest ones and then I failed the charge. So it's actually good because I maintain a little bit of move blocking, not as much as I would like, but it forces him around these guys instead of just going straight towards them. So it's fine. It is what it is. Hopefully I don't fail morale. And then we made the charge here. We made the charge with the succubus, the witches, and the bikes over there. So yeah, we're going to swing, and I'm really hoping I kill these 10 guys here, but we know what happened before.
Ugh, into turn 1, the Votann, or maybe it's just my dice rolling, refused to die easily. These guys rolled actually pretty hot to make me take 6 invols and 4 armor saves, 3 armor saves, and still alive with 1 wound. Over here, the succubus swung first. She did like 7 attacks that were 2 damage and some mortals. I popped 4 invulnerable saves, and then I used my meta pack to block one of the hits, so I only lost 2 from her hits and a couple mortals, so 4. And then the witches swung in, only killed 1 more. I tanked a bunch of my Thane on his 4th invulnerable save before he died. Then I swung back, killed a couple. We both passed morale, but during my movement, I was able to swing 1 guy back on the objective. These guys are on the bottom floor, so I was able to contest the objective. I don't get it on a primary, but I do still keep my banner alive, and he was not able to kill anything. The bike's living with 1 wound, and those guys staying alive meant take him alive, got zip. He did pick up 4 for herd because his zone's safe, and we saw him do the rend with these mandrakes back here. My turn. Beginning, I'm going to pick up 3 banners. Yeah. And then we got a couple primaries.
Yep, you got it.
He's on primaries. Oh, because you circled it. I got it. Yep. All right. Let's see what the Votann can do. Can I ever get out of my deployment zone? All right. The movement is done for Votann turn 2. I debated for a long time whether I wanted to send these Terminators out. I don't have the angles here to just drop, but I will be able to shoot this unit, potentially wipe them off the table. And so that was good. So I gave him the calls reroll. I did the teleport. We're good to go here. I'm staying in combat here. These guys, the berserks, are going to come up and potentially charge if they don't get shot or help out these witches. I tried to fall back with these guys, but I failed the roll off, so they're stuck in combat. We have a whole tank to shoot at a wounded succubus. Hopefully that's enough. I do have a character here who could charge if we need to. And then those berserks are moving up. They need an 8-inch charge. He's basically right on the other side of the wall with Incubi and Drukhari. I'll fight last and die, but I'll take him with me potentially. The bike just fell back. He passed his roll to get away from those witches. So these warriors are just lining up to take care of witches. That's it. And we do have 1 railgun that's able to get in range of that wounded tank. So we may be able to Magna Rail something just because. Let's go to the shooting, and we'll come back and see what's left. All right, the shooting was brutal. We have another charge here, rolling it, charging the witch over here. 5-inch charge, so we're going to make it. So everybody's getting their charge off. It's happening. We're just going to try to position here. Over here, we were able to shoot with the 1 Magna Rail, kill that raider with 2 wounds. My call was able to shoot the 2 witches here, kill them. They had a judgment token because he handed it out at the beginning of the turn. I've only handed out like 3 judgment tokens all game. And so he was able to pass that off to the racks because he could see them with his high call ability. That let the Terminators who dropped, there was 2 and 2 that could see around the sides of the crate. So 4 guys were able to shoot with mortals and blasts, and we were able to pick up the 5 racks. Over here, the Succubus got shot. Too many 2 damage hits went through. She only had 4 wounds. She died on the last save. Over here, the bikes hit a bunch of 6s to stay alive, despite being +1 to hit from that tank and just doing a lot of wounds on him. So I'm forced to charge him with that unit of Berserks. This big base here is kind of blocking me, so the mole launcher kind of screen hemmed in. Without thinking, I spent my lone CP. I'm really feeling the pinch without that Tech Marine or that Librarian to grow me another CP to grow a guy back. I grew back to Sergeant. He has a power sword, not that that matters against witches. But what it let me not have is a CP for full rerolls against these mandrakes, or these incubi. He made me fight last with his Archon, and he rolled his whatever the incubi thing is. So they're going to get punched. I don't have a CP for rerolls, so I'm just going to be rolling force to hit. No rerolls. So let's do the combats, and then we'll do that. So the incubi fought first. They killed them all. I did roll pretty good, but still not quite enough. All 2 damage. I fought back with no rerolls. I hit 8 out of the 15, so right on the math. And then I did not roll any 1, so 8 wounds, but he's taking 5 ups in return. He made 4 out of the 8 on his invul, so only 4 incubi died. So he'll owe me a morale, but he does get some movement, and I only killed 4, so hopefully morale matters. We will go to the other combats, and we'll come back with a score at the end of this turn. All right, the score is tallied for turn 2. He was able to kill the Berserks and pick up 1 for Take 'em Alive, but that did earn those guys a token. My token tally is growing. Take that token. I have 2 tokens on the board. These witches survived the combat, but they are begrudged. He did pick up 8 on the primary for going to turn 3. He still holds his back objective, and where those guys are coming out of the booth, I'm about to take it in the face. Let's see what I can do. But I'm picking up all the points. I picked up grind. I'm well positioned for lay claim. I don't know that he has a super answer for these Terminators who are just sitting here ready for some attacks. He did spend his Vect on Overwatch, so I won't be able to afford Overwatch with just 1 CP. So he doesn't want me to shoot him. So Incubi can come in hot if he really wants to. We will come back after the turn 3 Dark Eldar movement.
All right, so the MSU is working. The problem is I don't have enough killing power outside of the incubi. I think I need I want some Talos, or I want some more shooting to be able to weather the storm without reaching him. The witches are not enough. They're not able to do what I wanted them to do. So I think I would change some of that up, change up some psychers, get some psychers in here for my secondaries to be better. So he pushed me with these Terminators. I have to answer back with these incubi. I had these witches that were in the back. I just have to get as many of these Terminators down as possible right now. So I have to put them in. If I hold them back, he's just going to push up. He's just going to sit on this objective, and then he's just going to start running with the primary. He could then push my back line. So I kind of have to deal with them right now. I got racks that came in here in the back. I put 5 witches into this ride. It's just going to sit on this objective. This one came up. We're going to either shoot at the bike, shoot at these guys. And it says 10 incubi inside. We're going to charge these guys, get some movement, hopefully hide behind this building here, and then threaten his backfield next turn. Everything else came up. I failed my morale on the incubi and lost 1 more guy, so that's 2 more incubi that are dead. He's got Mr. Punchy Champion in here. He could be a problem. We're going to see if we could deal with him or not. I don't know yet. So the incubi might go into him. Draz might go into the normal guys. And then my Scourges came down in the back here. We're going to just try to pick this bike up. If the Dark Lance doesn't do it, otherwise they'll just see if they could pick some shots up on these guys. Or whittle these guys down even, and then maybe open up a pocket for the champion more. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Let's see what we could return. So I made all my charges, incubi and witches. I based everybody here basically just so he can't get any free pile in and movement and stuff like that. So just kind of hold him there as much as possible and eliminate who he can swing at. So he can't choose, oh, I want to swing more guys at this or less guys at that. He's forced to swing at what he can hit. The bikes came into the tank and the guys. We're going to try to pick up some more guys. And then everything happened over there on the champion. So we'll come back when we're swinging on the champion, and we'll see what kind of damage we do.
All right, here we go. We have the combat over there did not go well. He only killed one guy. The -1 damage mattered. All the witches swung, all the things is one guy and one wound. That's not going to be good on the clap back. Nope. Now we have Draz, -1 to hit our wound, but +1 to wound, so he's back to wounded on 3s. Here we go. How much damage are these? Flat 3, so he's -1 damage. It'll be 2 damage each. He's got a 4-up invul. He takes 2 damage. Okay. Still alive. Who's swinging next?
Draz will do a second.
Does he get to activate right away?
Yeah, it's just in the play phase.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The no rerolling wounds hurts. Oh, no! 2 more 4-ups. Fails.
Kills him.
That does kill him. Do I want to try to keep him alive? I think we just let him die.
Let's see if he stands back up while we got the camera on.
All right, here we go. On a 3+ because I took this special relic.
1 or 2. God damn.
Oh, a 6! Dragon's attack! He gets back up with D3 wounds. One wound, but he grows wounds back with that relic as well. So he's alive, but his friends are going to take it now that Draz got him. So we'll come back after that combat is.
All right, so we saw what happened over with the champion. I killed him. He came back up with 1 wound. So that's over here. Then the incubi just laid waste to the other guys. I had perfect hidden wound against them, so it's really good when they're looking for 2s and 2s.
They got another token.
They got another token. I mean, there's 4 of them left. They've laid waste to multiple squads. I'm okay. They're in a good position. I got a raider back there with 10 more guys that can't be seen. And I positioned it in a way where he should not be able to get this to see it. So in a good spot there. He swung back here. I'm just making saves with incubi. That's basically what's going on here. 5s and 6s, and they're just living, and that's the thing. They passed. They can't fail. They passed their morale. I lost 3 witches there. Yeah, just making 4-ups and everything like that. So not the best, not the worst. Could be worse, I guess. In combat with him, he could just shoot me in combat, so it's whatever. So when we look at the score, I only killed 1 thing because the guy stood back up, so I'm only gonna get 1 for the primary, 1 for take them alive. Again, like there isn't a good secondary I really could have taken. Maybe no prisoners could have give me more points at the end of this, but I was banking on killing 1 or 2 of his characters potentially. It just hasn't gone my way yet. If I took no prisoners, I'd probably be up to like 5 points right now. So mistakes were made there. I get my 4 herd. I didn't do my R&D yet. That's okay though. I just have my 1 quarter left to do. I'm not going to get to his back one. I just have to concede that and just say I'm getting 8 points on that. So that's a little unfortunate. He's going to pick up grind this turn for sure. He's going to get 2 on banners. He's going to get 8 on primary. So yeah, I'm at least scoring. Just some kills aren't going my way early. So yeah, let's go into this.
All right, end of turn 3 movement for Votann. Unexpected benefit of this warp strike relic. It lets me move like race, so I can ignore vertical distances. So I was able to move out of combat, and actually get on the other side of this ruin. So I got a couple guys I could see down here. Pretty nice. I had to roll off the witch, and I had to spend the CP before, so I didn't know spending that CP if I was going to make the roll off, but I did beat the witch roll, so I was able to escape combat. So these guys are in a pickle. Do have my berserks coming up to help, so I may just like let them charge in on the incubi, take care of business here. We have the tanks. This tank is finally free. It can shoot. It can see things. There's lots of things to shoot. Not a lot of judgment tokens. Ooh, at the beginning of the turn, I do get to hand out a judgment token. So who will we give it to? We'll give it to these guys. Oh, starting to amass some judgment. I could give them 3 judgment here. I don't think it's worth it. Just on 4 incubi. We got the champ right there. He's going to do things. We're going to stay in combat with these bikes. Let this bike clear it out. So I have to do the sequencing right. So I was able to shoot at Drazar. So we'll have to kill a lot of things before I can get a shot at Drazar. But hopefully I can do it. So we'll come back after the shooting is done and see if we can't pick up all the stuff I can see. All right. Comical ending to that brutal turn. So these guys popped off. I spent the CP to reroll all hits against guys with tokens. I wanted to shoot, so I split fire on the Incubi and the Witches, and then the 3 guys here shot at the Incubi that had 2 tokens. I did not roll a single 6. I re-rolled everything, not a single 6. So, fantastic internet. All the mortals didn't do anything. I shot and shot and shot. He popped -1 to hit and extra cover, so he was taking 2-ups against my saves, and he didn't lose any. Maybe 1 guy from their volley. Pretty pathetic. I needed to kill them so that I could shoot at Drazar. So I was able to pepper them with this bike, shoot them with the railgun that shot, or not the railgun, the beam weapon after I shot the bikes in combat. So I was eventually able to get the guys down enough where I was able to shoot at Draz, and he still stayed alive, but -1 damage. I was able to split fire with this last unit. I gave him the full rerolls with +1 to hit. The Magna Rail rifle shot and picked up Draz. The rest shot, and with the help of the tank that was still free to shoot, picked up the rest of the Scourge. So in the combat phase, I decided this chump Archon, he's not loaded up with anything. I am wounded, but he's got fight last. I went ahead and ran up on him and punched him. He ended up not dying, but he did not kill me. So he's in combat with me. I don't know. Can you fall back and charge with him?
For a CP, yeah.
For a CP, he can. So, score? Let you do that.
Whoop. All right. So after that, he's gonna get 3 more on grind, 3 on the mission secondary. I'm gonna go into this next turn with 8 here. I should be able to do my rod. I should be able to get 4 more on herd. We'll see if I could kill this character for take them alive. We're in a sketchy state though. He's got a lot left. So on to the turn. Okay, so here's what's going on. These 2 raiders are empty now. The Incubi came out. I got a 5 for my advance. I'm going to basically go in and just try to pick up the 2 characters here. I need a 4-inch charge. I don't have any CP. I'm spending my CP on the Archon to fall back and charge. Why? I don't need to do that. He's not going to kill them. He's not going to kill them. There's no reason for him to do that, so he's not going to do that. I'm gonna switch this live. Hang on a second. I'm realizing like wounding on 6s doesn't do anything. So what the Archon is actually going to do is he is going to end up just going this way. I don't know why. He's going to go that way. It doesn't matter what he does. He's just going to sit here. What should he do, guys? Camera, tell me, what does the Archon do? Look how cool he is. You guys want to see models? You always want to see models close up. He's gonna actually just sit right here, and the reason for that is because of this objective. So if he tries to come over here and do anything, it could prevent him. So he's just gonna fall back. Let's not worry about him. He's not gonna charge. I need my CP just in case right here. They're gonna try to kill the characters. We're gonna try to kill him with 2 Dark Lance shots. If not, we'll come in with the tanks, and we'll try to get him. We're doing our rod here, so we're gonna pick up rod, our 8 points. He's got like a 9 or a 10-inch charge or something to get to these racks. If he wants to come in with the Terminators, I don't know that he even cares about that. So I'm gonna shoot these Dark Lances, charge with some Incubi, and see if I could get some characters. All right, Incubi swung. We picked both of the characters up, so we're gonna get some take them alive points there. Tanks just whiffed on him. He did 6 damage on the other tank that wasn't wounded. So both tanks are wounded now. These guys are here. That's about all I can do. So I'm going to get 2 for herd. I needed that character to die to get the rest. And then I got my take them alive. I got 2 for the mission primary for killing 2 units. So yeah, that's all we can do. All I got left is 5 Incubi, 2 tanks, an Archon, and Witches and Racks back here. So we're a little slim pickings. On to Thomas's.
All right, turn 4, bottom of 4 for the Votann. I have 2 CP. But all my characters are dead, so no more buffs. But they did kill 2 characters, so they picked up 2 judgments. We were very angry. They killed our friends. I couldn't figure out how I couldn't get more because he killed my boss, but I didn't see anything. So what we're going to do is spend our 2 CP to let them shoot into combat. Hopefully they die. I do have some judgment, so maybe that Magna Rail will just pick them up on an auto wound. If not, all these tanks are going to shoot here, and then maybe we can make this charge with the Berserks. Seems risky. But whatever, we're doing it. The Terminators, they're moving. They got a 10-inch charge to these racks if they can make it. I don't know if they care or if they need to, but we're going to pick up both of these dudes. He fell back, grew a wound back, so he's just hanging out, daring that Archon to do something. He can't punch me, so I'd love to shoot that Archon. Could I do it? I don't think so. We'll take him out on the left. The hilarity has ensued. I was able to pick up both of the tanks. I was really sweating if it was explode. The first one did not explode. I thought I had got out of 3 inches of the second one, but no, it did explode. So I only had 3 wounds left, so it was very, very stressful roll. He rolled only 2 wounds, so I'm still alive with 1 wound. But his Archon, who had taken damage when I ran in and did mortal wounds on the charge, took 3 wounds in explosion, and he actually died. So the Archon died gloriously in explosion by his own raider, and my champion still alive, hanging out next to the objective. I shot over here with my mole launchers. Was able to pick up 2. Over here, we shot. We missed with the rail cannon. But bolters did some damage, so he's only got 2 left. I was forced to now charge with both tanks, see if we can't pick up those 2 guys. I'm just going to fish for some auto wounds. Let's roll some 6s. Come back. I knew that power sword was going to come in handy. He was only able to kill 1 through my invul and my meta pack. The tanks both whiffed. I rolled some 5s. Even though he had 2 judgment tokens, I needed a 6 to actually hit him, so it did not wound him. But then he only killed 1, so I was able to slap him with the power sword and just pick him up with those. So that objective is mine. We're going into the final turn, turn 5. These Terminators did have a 10-inch charge onto his racks on his home objective. They failed the 10-inch, so they're just hanging out. But they don't mind because they're going to hold that objective over there. On to turn 5.
Okay, so we've kind of gone through what the score is going to end up being. I had 3 witches over here. I really needed all 5 of them, so I would have had more attacks. The mole launcher did a good job picking 2 up. They're going in there. I had 2 CP. I had 3 wounds because he's -1 to wound, so I'm looking for 6s. They're -2 AP. I used a CP reroll. I hit a 6, so it's going to give him 4 3-up saves. He has to fail 1 of these, and I get 3 more points on my secondary.
I have 1 CP.
So 1 at a time, baby. 1 at a time.
There we go.
Give us the drama.
3 ups.
He's good.
Brilliant. Oh, no, not at the start. The CP. He stays alive.
All right, 2 more. Last one.
5s. Oh, he lives.
He gets it. All right, he gets it. So I don't get those points. He's going to end up just racking these up. So we're going to go add the score up, and we'll be right back with some thoughts. All right, so let's go over this score and talk about some of this stuff. We'll start with me, and then we'll hand it over to Thomas. Sorry if there's a glare on here. I'll try to get it out of where the light is. So I ended up with 35 on primary, 8 on R&D. I couldn't get in that last quarter. He just kind of sat there and screened him, so kind of holding him in place could have hurt me a little bit there. Herd, I wasn't able to kill that champion for 2 turns, so that's 4 herd points basically that I missed out on. So I had the potential of maxing that. Take them alive, I had a character that didn't die with 1 wound, so that's 3 points. I had a bike that didn't die with 1 wound, that's another point. And a squad that didn't die with 2 guys, that's another point. So that's 5 points on Take Them Alive I missed, which then equates to 3 more mission points. So that's 8 points I missed there. 3 points I missed there. So now we're at 11 and then 4 here. So that's 15 points that if I would have just killed those units and things went my way, I could have brought this score up from 63 up to 78. That's a super close game then. That's like a 1 mistake game. So dice didn't go my way. Stuff didn't die. My succubus went in too early. I needed her at the end there to like clean up the character and then go and like take him off of a primary or something. I was expecting her to kill a squad of 10 guys, and killing two guys is just pathetic. So not good. The bike living. I don't know how to deal with the Terminators. You can see what Thomas did here. Maxed everything. His banners is the only thing he didn't max, which is very, very good against me, like with the grind and stuff. We were talking if he picked the other one where he had to scan the stuff, he probably would have only got 3 points, 6 points here, so it would not have been a good one. So banners was the better choice on this one here. So yeah, like if you pick the wrong secondaries and things go right on the secondaries here, it's like a 1-point game. And if primary switches anywhere else, things start to get way different. If Drukhari goes second and you have OBSEC at the end of the game, or you play it differently And if I have OBSEC and I'm just like, oh, witches come out and just go right here, take both of these like that's why I put those there, but I needed to go second, right? So I put these here because I could put everything behind this ruin, and if it came down to me going second, then what would happen is I would just leave 5 to 10 witches there, focus hard on his OBSEC, and then on the last turn jump out and try to deny him 15 points. So this is risky. If you're not tabling people and you're not able to have board control, you could lose 5, 10, 15 points very easily. So he shot his tanks once, right? Like basically once, one each.
And not the guys you charged.
And not the guys that I charged, right? So they shot out of combat one time each. One of them into Draz, which sucked, which killed him. Otherwise, he might have lived. So I completed my goal there of shutting the tanks down. I didn't really have to overcommit too much. My Succubus had to go do it one turn. That's just a mistake of positioning, and that was a mistake of the Venom on turn 1 that died in this corner over here. That was supposed to live and be able to go do that, and instead I had to sacrifice the Succubus. Probably could have just done it with the witches, but it is what it is. Little mistakes there. My terrain deployment and placement over here kind of screwed me up a little bit. The squads of 10 incubi, freaking the champs. They were just running face. I was considering doing 3 10-mans, and I think if I re-racked this, I would go with 3 10-mans. And what I would do is have 3 bikes and have 3 venoms, so that I have those cheap, far-reaching squads that could go shut the tanks down all game. And then the incubi can start to mess with everything else. And then I believe that I don't need all of the OPSEC and I need more punchy and killy stuff, because if the tanks are out of play and then you have like Talos, let's just say I have 6 Talos, really, really tough to kill. If those tanks are not there, not much else is going to affect them in this army as much as they want to. So the Talos then are able to just like hold forward and push up and then maybe get into the tanks and clean them up on turn 3 or something like that. So I've got a couple other lists with Drukhari. I really like Drukhari's playstyle into Votann. I'm not sure how Drukhari fare into a lot of other matchups. So we're gonna try a couple of Drukhari lists, Drukhari Harlequins lists and stuff like that. I think I need to change what secondaries I can take. But Votann are not broken. Everybody thinks they're broken. I'm going to state it right now. They are beatable. We saw the first game I played with them in Sisters. It was like a 10-point game or something. This is a close game. Yes, 24-point loss, but 3 things go in a different direction. It's a 1-point game either way. So it is a winnable game. You just need to learn to play against them and understand how to play with them. I have no idea how to deal with the Terminators. We have yet to see a game where we could deal with Terminators. Thomas's Ultramarines came the closest to dealing with the Terminators, and that's but that's because I had 30 of them. So very, very hard to deal with. Very hard to deal with. Berserkers still underperform for me. I am not sold on Berserkers. I will say that game and game again. I understand what they could do. Maybe a squad of them is worth it into certain matchups. They just don't get it done for me. I don't think they're worth it. I love the bikes still. I love the tanks. The punchy character, we'll see if he has a chance to do more stuff in other games. But yeah, that's my thoughts from Drukhari's end. I misplayed a lot of stuff. I'm gonna alter my list a little bit, see what we can do, and go into this. And we have some other ideas with other armies. Get a second take with my sisters, and whatnot. So Thomas, what do you got on the Votann side?
So Votann, like obviously we won again. So I'm undefeated with the Votann. Take that, Joe. Giving it up against the demons. Yeah, corn. But no, in all seriousness, the mandrakes caught me by surprise. I don't even know what I was thinking. I even told him to take some mandrakes when he was building this list because I love mandrakes. And sure enough, he comes and touches my tanks. So having those guys get locked down, I mean, I was able to shoot everything he threw at me. The tanks were able to shoot, and then I was able to still have enough. I'm going to declare all my guns and then maybe my big gun down there. So I was able to still kind of shoot stuff. But at the end of the day, the tanks didn't get to move, didn't get to really push up. So he was doing a good job holding me, and he held the primary even until he kind of ran out of units. One of the big things we saw was having the punchy guy over there. While it was nice to actually have that little dude over there running around, kind of holding that flank. and him coming back to life was kind of relevant. It also was like I was starved for command points the entire game. Now I did start with 6, and I spent all 6 on relics and upgrades. So maybe I probably shouldn't have. But like the champion himself took 2 points of upgrades, right? So warlord trait and a relic. So I would have loved to have that Grimnar instead. So I think in the long term, there's not room for that champ unless you go double patrols, right? And so then you're really giving up something else, a unit of bikes or a unit of troops, and I'm not too thrilled about that. In this game, certainly, he just kept tagging me over and over again. I did not have the berserks in position to do the things I wanted to. They were able to make attack, but again, I was at a command point, so I couldn't really get the full rerolls. I should have just put these berserks out front of the tanks and screened with them.
And my 6s are real on Incubi.
He kept rolling 6s for those saves. I was like, that's my job. Get out of here saving with all those guys. But at the end of the day, like army did well. If I saw you, I killed you. I didn't even have very many judgment tokens. I couldn't hand them out. I'd either kill the unit before I could give it to them, or I'd give them 1 token and then they'd die. And every once in a while I was able to hand it off to another unit, but it was really not relevant. Only one time where I had some judgments where it was sort of useful. But no, judgments didn't really come into play. It was just sheer damage, a number of shots. Again, he's playing the MSU game, so he's just throwing them at me. So it wasn't really about durability at that point. It was just about delaying me and tying up my units. So he did a good job of that. Unfortunately, he just ran out of units at the end. A couple 1 wound guys stayed alive, caused him to have to overcommit resources. It was really tight. And a super close game, super fun game. Hope you guys enjoyed the content.